This is going to be a quick one. So today I want to talk about something I just discovered, a minor thing, but I think it's good for my console application. So I'm talking about visualizing progress in a fancy way in Terminal, in Windows Terminal to be specific. So with that, let's hop over to my screen here and let me show you what I did. So first of all, maybe a little demo. I will link the description to my blog article where all of this is written down as well. So I just execute a PowerShell script here. And what you can see, the progress is counting in PowerShell as usual. And then here up top, you get the progress visualized in this. And interestingly here, let me do this again. In the taskbar, you get a nice progress bar, which means if you put that window in the background, you can still see the progress running. So this is really cool. And it's based literally on feature that is available because Windows Terminal. Let me see if I can find that. Let me go to my article here. So codingfreaks blog post, and I written it down here. So what this is it's called the ConEmu Progress Bar codes, or aka OSC 9.4. So let me explain that a little bit. The OSC is like a default where you can send codes, special codes to terminals. And if terminals are able to interpret them correctly, so they're encoded codes, I will show you that in a second. So 9.4 means show progress to terminals which support that. So it turns out that Windows Terminal does support it, which is explained in this article here. So set progress bar in Windows Terminal, it's linked as you've seen. So this is how it could look like. And that's literally what you need to do. I will show you that in a second in a little bit more detail. And all the source code can be found on my blog. So as I said, I prepped some code. So this PowerShell thingy, this is all it takes. So let me zoom a little bit. So I decided to make two functions and then some try code to do that. So the first thing which you just saw happening is counting 0 to 100, and then I just simply call this show progress progress method. Probably it's cleverer to do it here than there, but this is just minor details. So show the progress, wait or do some task, and then show the default activity progress that PowerShell always provides. So that's just an example how you can combine those two things. So all you need to do is call this method. And I also wrote a method to hide the progress. So what is this all about? So let me show you here, show progress. So what I did is I just, oh, this is dumb. I should remove that from my source code as well. Copy and paste as ever. So now you see it here. It's just taking in two parameters which have default value, like percentage by default is 0 and state is 1. And this state is an important one. So all you need to do is write host without hitting enter, so no new line. And then this means it's an escape character, which means if it escaped by 27, it really means it does not really print something out to your terminal, which is why no new line is so important, because otherwise write host will just move your cursor. So no new line is important. And then there's this, as I said, 9.4 sequence, which this basically means, hey, progress to whatever terminal supports that. And then there are two expected values, like give me the number of the state. I'll talk about this in a minute. And the percentage. Let's do it correctly. It works otherwise as well. And then terminate it with another escape character so that he knows command is over. So what is hide progress then? Hide progress simply calls this show progress with setting the state to 0. So what we already learned, if you set this position to 0 here, that means hide the progress, which is pretty important. I do that at the end. Otherwise, you are stuck if you leave this out. Let us try this. And let's run the progress again. So he will count up, and maybe I will do this to 1 millisecond, and let's do it again so that we spare some time on the demo. So now you can see, because you don't clean up the progress, what this means is that your icon stays the same, which is not what you want. So let's run hide progress again at the end of all of this. And now you're good. Now he removes the progress as soon as he's ready. So in fact, what you probably should do on any error that you have, try catching or whatever, you should always call hide progress in order to leave your terminal in a nice state. So there's other things to show, like when I command this out and then using free as the state. So I'm calling show progress, leave the percentage at 0 because it's the default, but instead of 1, I paste in or I give in free as the state. So what happens now is that nothing, show progress 0. Oh, I need to sleep now a little bit. So 3 seconds, this is the so-called indeterminate state, which means it's a progress bar which is spinning like a wait operator. And if I run this, you can see down here, it's a scroll through progress bar. You always need to keep an eye on both of them. So that is cool. And then the other thing that I can show is this thing where I set the state to 2, percentage to 20, fixed value for 3 seconds. So let us look at this now. So what do you mean? 20%. And now look down here. Maybe not good to see. Let me do 50% here. And let's execute it and watch down here. So what you will see is that it's red. Meaning it is when in your script you have some error occurred or whatever and you just want to proceed with the script, you still can tell it by setting the state to, in this case, 2. There's another state which is called 4. Yes, let's try this one, which is warning. So it's yellow. So you have pretty nice control over, at least under Windows, how to display that, and that's nice. So what I also have prepped is a Windows .NET version of that. So I have a simple .NET console application with a good old program class. So what I did here, I did a little bit more clean and in the way that .NET supports us to do, like with encoding in UTF and stuff like that. And what I now also have is a terminal progress. Should be, yeah, it's terminal progress state should be the better name. What is that? No, I did it this way in the blog article. Let's leave it as it is. So you have an enum now, which gives you the information. What is this state? What can it be? So 0 means disabled. In other words, not visible. This is what the hide method uses. Default is 1, which means display the progress, just normally. Error is 2. Indeterminate is 3, which is the spinner, and warning is 4. So that's the same I just showed you. Then you can use it. And then I did this program which does console read keys in between. So let's execute this one. And now we have this simple thing which now has a, I don't know, 20% normal display, both sides. Then it has indeterminate spinner, as long as I hit a key. Nice. And then it has even animated, as you've seen. It animates to the point, like a red one, a warning one, and then it has a yellow one as well, and then it's done. And it resets to hide progress. So that is basically what I wanted to show. I think it's a nice one. Where I come, so I just want to mention where I got the idea from. The idea stems from a package which I already almost every time I use it are impressed on, which is benchmark.net, which I just saw that they just did it in the Windows terminal. I ran a benchmark and they literally used it, and I asked myself, how is this possible? So one caveat is I tried it out with different terminals on terminal alternatives, like on macOS. I tried out, what was it? iTerm, Terminal, Default, and Warp. And none of them was supporting this under macOS, so sad. That's not working on a macOS. By the way, whatever you saw, if you have a terminal under Linux, let's say, that supports progress visualization, it will work exactly the same way if you just replace write host by echo. So you can do the same. It's also explained in this article by Microsoft, really nice. And yeah, I just wanted to share that. Hope it's a little bit of fun and brings something to your scripts, and have fun.